At work, it can feel like stress is coming from deadlines, meetings, and expectations. But what if the pressure you feel isn't actually coming from the outside world? I'm Luke Richardson, and this is Wave Work Stress Goodbye, a podcast exploring the inside-out understanding and seeing how our minds work can transform the way we experience work, pressure, and performance. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome back to Wave Work Stress Goodbye. I've not done this for a long time, but I wanted to do a much deeper episode today. I've not done a deep episode for a while. Something that goes way beyond any subject matter that I could talk about. So, what I want you to do is listen to this podcast with a clear mind. Strap yourself in, get yourself comfortable. Pause the episode, go and get a brew if you need to, and with a clear mind come back and try not to, this is going to sound weird, but try not to listen to what I'm saying exactly, but try to listen to the feeling around what I'm trying to say to you. So we're going to talk a lot about your true self and why you are more than your job, and finding your true self beyond, any career success you've had or career success that you're striving for, work stress that's really getting you down, and expectations that you're innocently putting on yourself, and expectations that are also coming at you from others as well. Now, if you're enjoying these podcast episodes, do give my podcast a follow. It's extremely appreciated. Send me an email, 142a1988@gmail.com, 142a1988@gmail.com, and you can also connect with me on Instagram and LinkedIn as well. So let's get down to the episode itself. So, what is our true self? And at work, how do we find it? Now, this is not going to be a step-by-step, instruction list of, you go into work, you do this, you do that, you talk to this person, you talk to that person, you get this salary, you get that salary, and then you will find your true self. No, because finding our true self is nothing we can do externally. And it's true because it's true when you find our true self, because when you look at people who seem to have it all, they seem to have the perfect partner, seem to have the flash car, they've got the sexy job on paper, all those things, and they feel miserable and empty inside. And then you've got somebody who doesn't have any two pennies to rub together, and they are there, they're content, they're whole. So if it really was to do with external factors, that we had to get so much to feel so much back, then surely right that once we have all those external things, we'd feel empowered, we'd feel our true self, we'd feel like we've completed life's game. And yet, for a lot of us, including me as well, it doesn't work that way. And I'll tell you a story about me, if you've not heard it before. So 10 years ago, I strove to get certain things in my life. I wanted to, get a high-flying job in a corporate company. I wanted to look successful on paper. And I got all those things. And it made me really, really, really miserable. And the way life works is it all comes through us internally. If you've heard my podcast before, this will sound familiar to you, but this is the message that I try to get through to people every single week. We create our own experiences through thoughts and feelings. So you have your own thoughts and feelings, and I have my own thoughts and feelings, and your sibling have their own thoughts and feelings, and your parents have their own thoughts and feelings, or your children have their own thoughts and feelings, or your colleagues at work will have their own thoughts and feelings. Now, we've innocently been taught from a very young age that those thoughts and feelings are sent to us from signals outside the human body. So if someone says something to us that's good or bad, we feel a certain way inside. And if we have a certain job, and depending on how stressful or not stressful it is, we feel a certain way, good and bad. And if we have a certain salary, a low salary or a high salary, that has the influence to make us feel good and bad. And if only, and we all of us, even the most spiritual people in the world, have fallen foul of this trick in their previous times in their life. And the uncomfortable truth of all this is life doesn't work like that. Life cannot happen in the outside world to make us feel a certain way in here. But it bloody well looks like that, doesn't it? It blooming well looks like that. And we're all innocent of, being influenced by life's biggest magic trick. And in order to find your true self, it doesn't mean you go out there looking for something. And people fall for this all the time. They think if they get the good job, once they get the right salary, once they get the perfect partner, once they've had kids, once they've had a big house, once they've got the flash car, once they've got the once they've got the six pack, they're going to feel a certain way. And okay, they may get that feeling for a little bit of time once they get those things, but why is it only temporary? It's only temporary because of the nature of thought and feeling and experience, which I'm trying to describe to you. Now, when someone's creating that good feeling because they think that thing out there is making them feel a certain way in here, then they create their own self-illusion of success. How often have you heard about millionaires who've got to the £1 million mark and they've strived for that for years and years and years to make £1 million, and when they've got £1 million from the business they've generated, or through working for a third party, or by investing, however they've done it, they've got to that £1 million mark and felt absolutely nothing, and they thought they'd feel absolutely emphatic about it. Maybe another 2 million might do it, maybe another 2 million might do it to get to the £2 million mark, and they still feel absolutely empty inside. And that's because that's proof in the pudding of what I'm trying to tell you. There's nothing externally that can make you feel anything in here. It's all internally generated. So when we achieve a goal or a target or get that thing outside of us that we expect to fulfill us, and it doesn't, and we scratch our heads and wonder why, it's because nothing out there will ever make you feel anything inside of here. And even if you think it does, as I say, it never lasts. It's only temporary and vanishes. And it's true, isn't it? Because you could be a millionaire and still be a millionaire a week later, and the feeling of being a millionaire changes. It's not because nothing's changed in terms of being a millionaire. It's changed because one's thoughts and feelings have changed from one set of thoughts and feelings to another. And why is this important? Why is it important that we create the experience we create? Well, it's important because when it's not going so well for us, and we think the outside world is influencing that on us, then we lose our true self. We lose our true self. We lose our identity, and we lose our self-worth as such. And we think the outside world will still fix that for us. So if you're in a stressful job and you're looking for your true self and you've lost your identity, then that identity, that true self, that identity never actually went anywhere. It just got covered up by a lot of insecure thinking. But you, or not you specifically, if you listen to it, maybe you're listening for a friend, you or someone you might know has lost their true self in a job, and they've got the success in their career on paper. They're mildly stressed, or they're chronically stressed, and they've got a lot of expectations that they're putting on themselves, and it's coming from other people as well. and they've lost their identity to a job. If that's you or someone you might know, then that true self is rooted deep in that person's soul or your soul. It's just got covered up by a lot of insecure thinking, and that's big. That's big to realize, and that's huge news. Huge news. Because if you understand that deeply, that your true self hasn't gone anywhere, then that gives you the power back to you. It doesn't give the power back to your job or your salary or your personal circumstances or your spouse or your boss. No, it brings the power back to you. Because when you know you are the one playing the movie inside of you, then that gives you the ability to notice and recognise. Notice and recognising is massive, and that gives you the ability to thrive. I'm not saying that if something in external circumstances like a toxic job is right for you to stay in, just because experience is an internally created game. No, that's not true. But when you recognise that experience is created by you, then it gives you the wisdom and the space within you to do the right thing. That might be staying in that job because you realise that the thinking that you're bringing to the table isn't helping you do the job, and you can do it when you work from a place within that's pure and a blank canvas. On the other hand, you might recognise that, you know what, despite me getting out of my insecure thinking, I still recognise that from the blank canvas that this job isn't good for me. It's time for pastures new. It's time that I moved on. That's exactly what happened to me. I was in a job I worked for a company for many years, and I did a particular job for around seven and a half years. And it was stressful. It was really stressful. And I did it for 5 years or so, went off sick, and after 6 years I went off sick again. So I was off sick twice. And when I came back after the second time I'd been sick, I kind of took my insecure thinking aside and kind of looked at the picture bigger and thought, you know what, this is not right for me. It's not right for me or my family or my future. It's not for this. Yeah, I might have the impressive salary from this job, but what's the point in having the impressive salary if I just feel dead inside? And I took the intellectual decision, the informed decision to move on, and I never ever looked back since. And that might not have been the correct decision for me with overthinking, or with a blank canvas and looking at it from another angle. I might think, you know what, this is the right job for me. It pays the bills. It's a good salary. I like the people I work with. I get to travel Europe a little bit. I was stupid to leave this job. And that's the nature of thought. We could have so many different thoughts, feelings and experiences about a certain matter. But we pick one and we go with it. And on that occasion, I went with leaving, but I could have easily persuaded myself to stay and thrived in that job. And you can too, with the right set of thinking behind the system, or recognising that what the system's doing. It's the stressful thinking and insecure thinking is not your true self. It's not the real you at all. The real you is a place of love, hope, wisdom. See what I'm saying? All the insecure experiences and thinking that you've had are just illusions that you've fallen for, you've been seduced by, and you've took those thoughts, feelings, and experiences as your identity, and that the job's your identity. And it's not all your identity. Your identity is pure. It's a blank canvas, and you were designed to thrive, my friend. Thrive. And I'll tell you another story. This week I went to see The Odyssey. You know, the big Christopher Nolan Greek adventure about the guy called, I can't remember, I think it's Odysseus, I think that's how you pronounce it. A Greek name, and it's about Matt Damon plays his character, and he travels back from the Trojan War to get back to his family, and encounters lots of obstacles along the way to get home. And Four of us went. I went with a few school friends who I went to secondary school with, and there's four of us. I really enjoyed it. I thought I don't see many films, so I'm easily pleased. And I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I sat back, relaxed. It was a 3 hour long film. I got lost in it, lost in the story, threw myself into it like my life depended on it. And I really, really enjoyed it. My other friend didn't really have any opinion on it really. He was quite quiet about it. So, he was putting his little poker face a little bit, not quite sure if he enjoyed it or not. Didn't really say much. I think he said he enjoyed it at the end, but he didn't really go quite deep into his opinions about it. Another one of my friends really enjoyed it as well. Kind of similar to me, not as much as me, but had his own critics about it, but really enjoyed it all the same, just as much as I did. Now, my other friend, the fourth friend, kind of said he enjoyed it, but he didn't enjoy it at the same time. He had a lot of bones to pick with it. Said that he couldn't really get a relationship with the characters he was seeing on screen. Didn't really believe that the main guy could have such a poor relationship with his shipping crew. No, I didn't see that at the time, but when he said it, I was like, oh yeah, to be fair, the relationship between them wasn't that hot. But it's not something I saw, and that's the point I'm making. We've all seen the same film, but we've all had different realities about that situation that we're all in for 3 hours. I really enjoyed it. My friend was on the fence a little bit. My other friend really enjoyed it as well, and the other friend just didn't really see. It didn't really do it for him. He didn't believe the characters, and didn't believe the relationships he had with the other characters were true. He didn't think the character cared about his shipping crew, basically. And that's not really an example of finding your true self. That's an example of how thoughts, feelings, and experiences work for each and every one of us, irrespective of what's going on in the outside world, irrespective of what's going on a movie screen, and irrespective of what's going on in our workplace. And finding your true self is one of the hardest, easiest games on the planet. It's hard because of the distraction that we have going on in our own thoughts and the distraction we have in the modern world with all this technology. But at the same time, it's the easiest game because it's always there in each and every moment within us. And we've just not seen it because of the mask that we put on, the mask being that the insecure thinking that we bring to the table in various moments. You're more than your job, and finding your true self is always in a game, and one that just takes recognition and one just to be noticed. Despite career success, work stress, and the expectations that you innocently give yourself through the role of thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And if you want to discover more about how you are more than your job, and you want to find your true self beyond your career and work stress, then, as I say, follow me on this podcast, send me an email, 1421988@gmail.com, and connect with me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and I offer a 30-minute free clarity call. So if you're interested in sitting down with me for 30 minutes to talk about you and your situation, and you want to tell me a story, tell me your own personal story about your work stress matters, I want to discuss how I could help you, because that's what I do. I help people to see their true self, see the real them, the real inner self, and bring them back to their real self through conversation and insight. And that's all I do. And you can let me know if that's what you want. If you want a 30-minute free clarity call, just let me know. And you can download my free work stress guide as well. If you go down to the description in the episode, the free work stress guide, there'll be a link there, and you can sign up to that, and the free guide will be emailed to you. I'm actually going to make it easier to book the free clarity call soon. I'm going to put a link in there so you can pick a date and time that suits you and suits me. Book it in, and you'll get a Zoom notification. So will I. And on the date and time, we can sit down and talk with each other one-to-one for 30 minutes, if that sounds good to you. I've really enjoyed this one. I've not done a deep spiritual episode for a long time. Really enjoyed doing that one with you, and I'll see you on the next one on Wave Work Stress Goodbye. Take care, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. If this episode resonated with you, then feel free to connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn, where I share more insights on work stress, leadership pressure, and the inside out understanding. You can also contact me directly via email at onethoughtaway1988@gmail.com. And if you're navigating pressure in your own career, you can download my free work stress guide using the link in the show notes. Until next time, take care, and remember, work stress might feel real in the moment, but it isn't who you really are. Thank you.